Hello students, this is Asma Babani. Today I will explain you chapter 16 of Social Science grade 7, that is of Social and Political Life. Name of the chapter is State Government. Let's head towards the chapter. We elect a class representative for smooth management of the class. Moreover, we form a class committee, a class cleanliness committee, a class management committee. You also must be doing your part to decorate and arrange the class. You may be wondering who would be in charge of the entire administration, management, and executive of the state. The state government does the administration of the state. One of the basic objectives of the state is to maintain the well-being and safety of the people by maintaining law and order. The main aim of the state government is to attain the all-round welfare of the people of the state by preserving and protecting their freedom and fundamental rights. For this, three organs of the government continuously function as legislative, executive, and judiciary. State legislature is also known as the Legislative Assembly. Its task is to formulate laws for effective and efficient governance of the state, while the function of the state executive is to implement the law and the function of the judiciary is to punish those who break the law. Students, the fundamental objectives of the state are to maintain the well-being and safety of the people by maintaining the law and order. And its also objective is to safeguard and to protect the freedom and fundamental rights of the people of the state for the universal welfare. And there are three organs of the government which are continuously working. First is legislative, second is executive, and third is judiciary. The legislature, it makes the laws for the effective and efficient administration of the state. Then the executive enforces the laws enacted by the legislature effectively, and the work of judiciary, it acts to punish those who break the laws. Local self-government. The government is also a managing body. This managing body usually runs the administration according to the will of the people. India is a very big country. If the administration is carried out from only one level or place, it leads to many difficulties and inconvenience to the citizens. That is why we have a government which works at different levels, that is at the local level, at state level, and national level. Local people elect their representatives by voting, and administration done by them only is called local self-government. Gram Panchayat, Taluka Panchayat, and District Panchayat are the government of rural local self-government. Municipality and the municipal corporation are the government of urban local self-government. We will study about the state government. Students, a government plays an important and major role in developing and maintaining economic security in the society. The government works at local level, state level, and national level. Gram Panchayat, Taluka Panchayat, and District Panchayats are the government of rural local self-government. Municipality and the municipal corporation are the government of urban self-government. When local people elect their representatives by voting, and administration is done by the people who has won in the election, so this type of government is called local self-government. Know this. The implementation of Panchayati Raj started in Gujarat from April 1st, 1963. Students, now we will discuss the questions given in the think box. The first question is, what are the organs of the government? Students, the organs of the government are, first is legislature, second is executive, and third is judiciary, as I told you. Second question is, why are the organs of the state government needed? So students, answer to this question is, the requirement of the organs of the state government are, first is to maintain the well-being and safety of the people by maintaining law and order in the state. And the second reason is to protect and safeguard the freedom and fundamental rights of the people of the state for the universal welfare. Third question is, what if there is no judiciary? This is a very interesting question, students. that if there is no judiciary, then the functioning of the society is not easy. All people cannot live peacefully. The life, property, and the basic rights are not protected. Theft in society leads to robbery. People harass each other, grab each other's things, and hurt each other. Fourth question is, why should we not break the law? Students, the government enacts laws to govern the wide administration of the country easily, as well as to maintain peace and security in the country. So we should not break the laws. And students, there is a figure given here on page number 95, which shows the functioning of the state government. There is chief minister at the top, then he has his cabinet of ministers, then ministers of state, and MLAs, that is members of legislative assembly. Formation and role of state government. India is a country with a huge population. India has 28 states and 9 union territories. Delhi is a special state. There is a federal government in the country with two levels, namely union and state. The national government is called the central government or the union government. It administers the whole of India. The government that administers the state at state level is called the state government. Students, as we all know that India has 28 states and 9 union territories. There is a federal government in India with two levels, namely union and state. The national government is called the central government or the union government. It administers the whole country. And the government at state level is called the state government. It administers the state. Legislative Council. Main organs of the state government, that is legislature, executive, and the judiciary. The upper house of the state legislature is called the Legislative Council. Every state in India has a legislature. There is a legislative council only in the states of Bihar, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. Gujarat Legislative Assembly does not have a legislative council. The members of the Legislative Council are elected by the constituencies of the local self-governing bodies, registered graduates, electoral college of secondary and higher secondary teachers. To be a member of the Legislative Council, the candidate must be 30 years of age or more and should be an Indian citizen. The Legislative Council is a permanent house. Each member of the Legislative Council is elected for a term of 6 years. 1/3 members of the Legislative Council retire every second year. The state decides whether to have a Legislative Council or not. Students, the upper house of the state legislature is called the Legislative Council. The members of the Legislative Council are elected by the constituencies of the local self-governing bodies, registered graduates, electoral college of secondary and higher secondary teachers. To be a member of the Legislative Council, the candidate must be of 30 years of age or more, and he or she should be an Indian citizen. The Legislative Council is a permanent house. Each member of the Legislative Council is elected for a term of 6 years, and every second year, 1/3 members of the Legislative Council retire. The state decides whether to have a Legislative Council or not. In India, there is a Legislative Council in the state of Bihar, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. And Gujarat Legislative Assembly does not have a Legislative Council. Legislative Assembly. The lower house of legislature is called Legislative Assembly. According to the provisions of the Constitution, the number of members in the Legislative Assembly cannot be less than 60 and more than 500. Students, Legislative Assembly is the lower house of legislature, and according to the provisions of the Constitution, the number of members in Legislative Assembly is minimum 60 and maximum 500. That means the number of members should not be less than 60 and more than 500. Qualification to be a member of Legislative Assembly. He should be an Indian citizen. His age should be 25 years or more. He must not have a paid position in a government institution. That person should not be a bankrupt, a convicted offender, or having an unstable mind. Students, there is an eligibility criteria to become a member of Legislative Assembly. If anyone wants to become the member of Legislative Assembly, or in short it is called MLA, the following eligibility is compulsory. The person should be an Indian citizen. This is compulsory, it's mandatory. His age should be 25 years or more than 25 years. He must not have a paid position in a government institution. That means he should not be a government employee. That person should not be a bankrupt, a convicted offender, or having an unstable mind. That means there should not be any criminal cases against that person, and he should be mentally stable person. Every state in India has a legislative assembly. State areas are divided into different constituencies. One member is elected from each constituency. There are total 182 assembly seats in the state of Gujarat. The number of legislators in each state legislative assembly is different. The number of seats are based on population. Most of the legislators belong to different political parties. There are also independent legislators who do not belong to any political party. The Vidhan Sabha Bhavan of Gujarat is located at Gandhinagar and its name is Vittalbhai Patel Vidhan Sabha Bhavan. Students, the legislature is made up of members directly elected by the citizens of the state. The citizens who are 18 years or of more age, they can give vote in election and select their members. Areas of the state are divided into different constituencies. One member is elected from each constituency. There are total 182 assembly seats at present in the state of Gujarat. The number of seats are based on population of the state. Members of the Legislative Assembly are elected by registered voters of the state aged between 18 years or more or above, you can say, by a secret ballot. Election. Elections for members of the state legislature are held every 5 years. A member of the Legislative Assembly is called a legislator or MLA, member of the Legislative Assembly. MLAs are elected by the people through direct elections. Different political parties field their representative as their party's candidate in the assembly elections. One becomes a member of the Legislative Assembly based on majority of votes from his own constituency. The party having a majority in the Legislative Assembly forms its own government. The members of the Legislative Assembly represent the people. Students, elections for the members of the state legislature are held at every 5 years. A member of the Legislative Assembly is called a legislator or MLA. MLA means member of Legislative Assembly. MLAs are elected by the people through direct elections. Different political parties field their representative as their party's candidate in the assembly elections. One becomes a member of the Legislative Assembly based on majority of votes from his own constituency. The party having a majority in the Legislative Assembly forms its own government, and the members of the Legislative Assembly represent the people of their own constituency and later on country. Tenure, that is duration. The Legislative Assembly is not a permanent house. Its term is 5 years. It dissolves when its term gets over. In certain unusual situations, the government cannot run according to the constitutional provision, or when a government cannot be formed. In that case, the President imposes presidential rule in the state on the recommendation of the governor. During that time, the governor takes the care of the state administration. The MLAs elect the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker from them for the smooth conduct of the Legislative Assembly. Financial and ordinary bills can be introduced in the Legislative Assembly only after passing through various stages. The bills are sent to the governor for approval. On getting approval of the governor, the bill becomes an act. Students, the term of the members of Legislative Assembly is 5 years. That is, they work on their position for 5 years, and after 5 years it dissolves when its term expires. In certain unusual situations, when the government cannot run according to the constitutional provision or the government formed cannot work, the president imposes presidential rule. That means the people who have won the election, and if they are unable to run the government properly as per the constitution, then the president uses his presidential rule in the state on the recommendation of the governor and the president, they both decide to impose a presidential rule, and during that time the governor takes care of the administration of that particular state. In this way, the MLAs elect the speaker and the deputy speaker from their members for smooth conduct of the legislative assembly. And when ordinary bills or the financial bills are introduced in the legislative assembly, they are passed through 3 stages, and after passing from those 3 stages, the bills are sent to the governor for approval, and when the governor signs the bill, it gets approval and the bill becomes an act. Functions: make amendments in the existing laws, formulates new laws when the need arises, repeals old and irrelevant laws, approves the budget, controls the executive. Students, Legislative Assembly has its own functions. They have their own duties to work. The few functions of Legislative Assembly are: first is that it makes amendment in the existing laws. That means if they feel there should be some changes in the existing laws, they can make changes, they can make amendments, and then again enforce the law. It formulates new laws when the need arises. That means if there is any urgent need or if there is a long term need for any new law, they formulate. That means they form a new law and they implement the particular new law. It repeals old and irrelevant laws. That means the Legislative Assembly has the right to stop any old law that is actually not relevant today, and they can stop that particular law. And then it approves the budget also. Legislative Assembly approves budget in Legislative Assembly. And their another duty is that they control the executive. Executives have duty to enforce the law enacted by the legislature. So even Legislative Assembly has the right to control the executive also. Students, you can see the picture on page number 96, that is Gujarat Legislative Assembly, which is called Vidhan Sabha Bhavan. It is located at Gandhinagar. It is also known as Vittalbhai Patel Vidhan Sabha Bhavan. Question R. Any legislator can ask questions, can give suggestions at the appointed time in the Legislative Assembly at the time of questioning, and can also present their own opinion or belief. After that, concerned minister of that department answers the asked questions and gives clarifications about necessary steps being taken. He also guarantees the House to resolve the questions. Legislators can ask questions to ministers or even the chief minister through the speaker. Students, in the Legislative Assembly at the time of questioning, any legislator can ask questions on predetermined topic. They can even give instructions and they can present their own opinion or their own belief. After that, the concerned minister of that particular department, he answers the asked questions, and he can even give clarifications and the necessary steps which are being taken by that particular department. They also give the guarantee to the House to resolve the questions or the queries. The legislators can ask questions to any ministers or even the chief minister through the speaker. Students, you can see the picture of Legislative Assembly on page number 98. There is governor who is sitting in front of the whole assembly. Now let's move towards executive. The state executive is an important part of the state government. The state executive consists of the governor, the chief minister and the cabinet. The executive only includes the administrative officers working under the control and guidance of the ministers. The cabinet is called the political executive and the administrative officers are called administrative executives. Students, the state executive consists of the governor, then the chief minister and the cabinet. Governor appoints the leader of the majority party and he appoints him as chief minister. Governor appoints the members of the cabinet as per the recommendation of the chief minister, and in this way the state executive is formed. And the executive also includes administrative officers who are working under the control and guidance of the ministers. The cabinet is also called the political executive and the administrative officers are called administrative executive. Students, there are few questions given here in the activity box. Let's solve those questions. The first question is, what is the name of your assembly constituency? The name of my constituency of legislative assembly is Padi. Second question is, which party's MLA is there in your constituency presently? So presently, at present, you can say Bharatiya Janata Party is there in my state, and MLA Kanubhai Desai is appointed here in Valsad. Then, which party is there in your state presently? Presently, BJP, that is Bharatiya Janata Party, is working in Gujarat. Fourth question is, who is the present Chief Minister and the Governor of Gujarat? So, students, the present Chief Minister of Gujarat is Shri Vijayabhai Rupani. He is incumbent Chief Minister, that is current holder, and the Governor is Shri Acharya Devrat. Fifth question is, name the Education Minister, Home Minister and Finance Minister of Gujarat. Students, the name of the Education Minister of Gujarat is Shri Bhupendra Singh Chudasama. The name of our Home Minister is Shri Pradeep Singh Jadeja, and the name of our Finance Minister is Shri Nitin Bhai Patel. Functions of the executive: enforces the laws made by the Legislative Assembly. Students, executive enforces, that is implements the laws which are made by the Legislative Assembly. Second is takes care of maintaining law and order in the state. They take care of the law, maintains them, and the order which is to be performed in the state properly. Third function is makes effort to remove the economic and social problems. The state executive works hard to remove the economic problems that is related to monetary and the social problems of the people. Fourth function is plans to eradicate poverty and unemployment of the citizens of the state. Fourth function of state executive is to eradicate, that is to remove poverty and to remove unemployment of the citizens of the state by giving them more employment opportunities, and it will even gradually eradicate poverty also. Fifth function is provides services like education, health, transportation, communication, electricity, etc. It's understood that it provides the services like education, health facility, transportation, that is through bus facility, communication and electricity facility. Sixth function is plans and ensures that the citizens have access to the necessities of the life. That means citizens should have their minimum necessities to live their normal, regular life. Then it takes care of the smooth administration in the whole state. It works for the smooth administration to perform in the whole state. Then the state government works for the welfare of the people. That means they work for the holistic development of the people of the state. And even state executive introduces the bills in the legislature and give them the form of law. And the finance minister prepares the budget of the state and passes it in the legislative assembly. Accordingly, he administers the finance of the state. Let's say toward the governor. Every state in India has a governor. He is the constitutional head of the state. He is also the executive head of the state. He is appointed by the president of the country on the advice of the prime minister for 5 years. All the administration of the state is done in his name. A citizen of India aged 35 years and above is eligible for the post of a governor. Students, a citizen of India aged 35 and more years is eligible for the post of governor. He is appointed by the President of the country on the advice of the Prime Minister for a term of 5 years. Governor is the constitutional head of the state. Almost every state has a governor. He is also an executive head of the state. All the administration, all the administrative work of the state is done in the name of a governor. Functions of the governor: appoints the leader of the party having a majority in the state legislature as the chief minister, appoints cabinet ministers on the advice of the chief minister, convenes, calls then the meeting of assembly and has a power to dissolve the legislative assembly if necessary. The governor issues an ordinance if needed, appoints the Advocate General of the state and the chairman of the State Public Service Commission, etc. Makes the law by signing bill passed by the legislature. He takes care of the state administration, remaining neutral and impartial. Students, there are functions, or you can say duties of the governor. The duties or the functions of the governor are that he appoints the leader of the party who has got the majority vote in the state legislature, and he appoints that leader as the chief minister of that particular state. He appoints cabinet ministers on the advice of the chief minister. Then he calls the meeting of assembly and has a power to dissolve the legislative assembly if necessary, not always, and he also issues an ordinance if there is a need. He appoints the Advocate General of the state and the chairman of the State Public Service Commission. He makes the laws by signing the bill passed by the legislature. Then he takes care of the state administration by remaining neutral and impartial. He keeps aware to the president about the works of the state government. If the rule of the president is established, which I told earlier that if needed presidential rule is established in a particular state, then the governor assumes the administration of the state as a representative of the president. Chief Minister: the governor appoints the leader of the party with the majority in the legislature as the chief minister. Most of the powers of the governor are vested in the chief minister and his cabinet. In Gujarat, the office of the chief minister and his cabinet is in the new secretariat Swarnim Bhavan of Gandhinagar. There are 3 levels of ministers in the cabinet. First is cabinet level ministers, second is state level ministers, and third is deputy level ministers. Functions of the chief minister: convenes the cabinet meetings, supervises the functions of each minister, provides guidance to the ministers if required, informs the governor about the decisions taken by the cabinet, assigns various administrative portfolios to the ministers of the cabinet, reshuffles the cabinet if required, gets the budget presented in the legislature by finance minister, works continuously for the welfare, well-being and development of the citizens of the state. He serves as an anchor, guide and captain of the government policies. Students, the governor appoints the chief minister and cabinet ministers on the advice of the chief minister. He informs the president about the functions of the state government. It becomes law only when the governor signs a bill passed by the legislature. If the rule of the president is established in the state, he handles the administration of the state as the representative of the president. Then the functions of the chief ministers are that he convenes, that is, he calls cabinet meetings. Then he supervises the functions of the each minister whom he gives the portfolios of a particular department. Then the chief minister provides guidance to the ministers if they require any guidance. Then he informs the governor about the decisions taken by the cabinet. Chief minister assigns various administrative portfolios to the ministers of the cabinet. If required, if there is need, he reshuffles the cabinet. He gets the budget presented in the legislature by finance minister. Chief minister works continuously for the welfare, well-being and development of the citizens of the state. He serves as an anchor, as a guide and captain of the government policies in the state. Functions of the state government. In India, there is a federal system of government, so the work is divided between the state government and the central government. The jurisdiction, that is, scope of work of the state government, is limited to its own state, while the jurisdiction of the central government covers the entire country. There is an important difference between the central government and the state government in terms of their jurisdiction, that is, scope of work. The functions and power assigned to the center and the state are divided into three lists. First is union list, second is state list, and third is concurrent list, that is, combined list of state and union list. Students, India is a federal country. It has a federal system. Federal means the country having or which is relating to a system of government in which there are several states to form a unity, but they remain independent in internal affairs. So, according to the jurisdiction of the state government, they have their own state, they have their own subjects. Then the center and the state, they have been divided, or they have been assigned the list of their to do work kind. So there are three lists according to the state, or you can say according to the center. The first list is union list, second list is state list, and the third list is concurrent list is the combination of the union and the state list. Know this. Union list. Out of the 97 subjects assigned to the central government census, defense of the country, finance, banking, elections, railway, post and telegraph, atomic energy, aviation and national highway, marine services are included in the union list. Then the state list includes 66 subjects which are assigned to the state government, including education, health, agriculture, internal trade, commerce, forest, local self-governing institutes, etc. These all are included in the state list. And the third list, which is combination of union and state list, which is called concurrent list, it has 47 subjects from central and state government both to frame the laws. It has a joint list of the powers such as divorce, education, industries, employment, electricity and inheritance matters. Proceedings of civil and criminal cases are included in concurrent list. Now next is functions of the state government. The main function of the state government in a democracy is to do the welfare of the people. Students, the main aim of the state government is the welfare of the people living in that state. The state government performs important functions related to the basic needs of the people such as electricity, concrete roads, clean drinking water and health and hygiene related works. Students, state government deals with the basic needs of the people, that is electricity. They provide electricity, then they build concrete road, okay, then they provide clean drinking water, then the facilities for health and hygiene related works are carried out in the state, and many more works are also carried out. Distributes food items through rationing shops. State government distributes food items through rationing shops. You must be knowing that ration shops provides you like wheat or rice or some kind of dal. Every month people get ration through ration shops. Next is provides assistance to the people in times of natural calamities like floods, heavy rains, droughts, earthquakes, hurricanes, etc. Students, state government provides immediate assistance, quick assistance to the people who are suffering from or who have faced natural disasters like flood or heavy rains or droughts, earthquakes, hurricanes, etc. Provides facilities for transportation, educational institutions, hospitals, justice, etc. Students, state government also provides the facility of hospitals to the people of the state, justice through the court, then educational institutes are built, and the facility of transport. As you know that Gujarat state government has started the bus, okay, in Gujarat state, which is famous, which is known as GSRTC. Then it plays an important role in maintaining peace, law and order in the state. This is also an important duty of the state government to maintain peace in the state, to implement laws and check whether it is going on in the order in the state or not. State judiciary. Every state in India has a high court. The High Court of Gujarat was established on 1st May 1960 in Ahmedabad. The High Court of Gujarat is in Ahmedabad. The Chief Justice of the High Court is appointed by the President on the advice of the judges of the Supreme Court. Students, every state in India has High Court, and the High Court of Gujarat was established on 1st May 1960 in Ahmedabad city. Presently it is in Ahmedabad only, and the Chief Justice of the High Court is appointed by the President and the advice of the Judge of Supreme Court. By taking advice of the Judge of Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of High Court is appointed. Functions: to protect and safeguard the rights of the citizens. These are the functions of the state judiciary, or you can say the High Court. They should care for the people, they should protect the people and safeguard the rights of the citizens. Then redressal of citizens' appeal. Students, meaning of redressal means it's a kind of a remedy or a compensation for a wrong or grievance which is done to someone. So it is the duty or the function of the court to see whether any citizen who has got hurt by, like, many times accidents happens on the road. So it is a duty of the High Court to make the person because of which the accident happened to compensate to the victim of the accident. Third function is hearing appeals against the verdict of civil or criminal cases. The High Court hears the appeals of both the parties and in civil cases also and in criminal cases also. Next is protecting law and order. It protects the law and order in the state. High Court acts as a precedent court. Precedent court means it is the court of record. Disposition of public interest litigations means it finds solution of the public interest to the problems of the public. Know this. Students, there are few know this points in the yellow box which tells you about few facts of the state. The judges of the High Court take oath before the governor. Lawyers usually make arguments in the High Court. The accused and the plaintiff are called only if necessary. Each district has a sessions court. A case of theft, robbery, assault, murder, physical injury or altercation is considered a criminal dispute. Dispute over land, building or property are considered civil disputes. The police registers an FIR, that is first information report, at the police station when the crime is first reported. Lok Adalats also function in the state to reduce the burden of courts. The meaning of health. Wellness is called health. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being. Health is not just the absence of diseases or physical weakness. Health is an achievement of physical well-being. In order to have a good family and social life, it is important for a person to be in good health first. The holistic development of a country is only possible with healthy human resource. Students, generally wellness is called health. In fact, health means a state of complete physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being of a person. Health is not just the absence of disease or physical weakness. Health is an achievement of physical well-being, and in order to have a good family and social life, it is important for a person to be in good health first. The holistic, that is complete development of a country is only possible with healthy human resource in that country. Public health services. Public health center, primary health centers, that is PHC, health sub-centers in rural areas, civil hospitals in big cities, different types of vaccination programs for children, cleanliness campaigns, access to pure drinking water, environmental protection program, family welfare programs are provided to the citizens of the country through the public health services. Control on food adulteration, drug control, protection against life-threatening diseases and preventive measures increase people's well-being. Facility of 108 is available for emergency treatment. Students, in the state we have various facilities for our health, that is public health center is there, primary health center which is also called PHC, health sub-centers in rural areas, that is on village areas, civil hospitals in big cities, different types of vaccination programs for children, cleanliness campaigns, that is Swachh Bharat kind of campaigns, then access to pure drinking water, environmental protection program, family welfare programs are provided to the citizens of the country through the public health services only. Then control on food adulteration, drug control, protection against life-threatening diseases, and prevention measures increase people's well-being. And there is also a facility of 108 which is available for emergency treatment. Private health services. Health services are provided to the citizens by private clinics, private hospitals, trainees, and government registered private doctors. There are also large numbers of private laboratories working to diagnose diseases. Specialized private hospitals are working for the diagnosis and treatment of various diseases to provide health services. Students, specialized private hospitals are working for the diagnosis and treatment of various diseases to provide health services. In addition to this, we have private health services which are provided to the citizens by private clinics, private hospitals, then the trainees who have studied the degree but they are taking training in that particular field, and government registered private doctors. There are also large number of private laboratories working to diagnose the diseases. Health and state government. The state government makes special plans and expenditures to provide health services to the citizens of the state. The following functions are performed by the state government. Students, one of the duties of the state government is to make special plans for the health services of the citizens. They prepare special plans and they even spend money to provide health services to the citizens of their particular states. There is a list of the functions of the health related duties of the state government. First is distribution of food grains to the poor through ration shops. As I told earlier, state government distributes food grains to the people through the ration shops at a very low rate. Vaccination to control diseases like measles, chickenpox, polio, etc. These vaccinations are given free of cost in government hospitals also. Then liquor prohibition, control on food adulteration. Liquor prohibition relates to the people who drinks, and drinking is not allowed in many of the states. And food adulteration means mixing the kind of the food with actual grains to increase the weight of that particular product. Next is 108 for emergency medical facilities. Next is cleanliness drive and scheme for management of sanitation, which we have already been going through, like Swachh Bharat, and even toilets are built for the management of sanitation in small villages also. Distribution of generic medicines through Jan Aushadhi Kendra at reasonable rates. When you go to a medical with generic medicines, they provide you with the same content, medicine with the same content at very reasonable rate. Planning of health services to control diseases like malaria, jaundice, leprosy, blindness, diabetes, tuberculosis, cancer, etc. These services are also provided through state government also. Health and government. The planning and management is done by the state government and the central government to maintain good health of citizens of nations. Students, these are the health schemes which are given below in the yellow box. The schemes of the state government are also there, and the schemes of central government are there. I'll read through it. The first scheme of the state government is Mukhyamantri Amrutam Yojana, that is Ma Card. Second is School Health Program. Third is Mission Balam Sukham, Mamta Sakhi Yojana. Then Janani Suraksha Yojana, that is Mother's Safety Yojana. Janani Shishu Suraksha Karyakram. Then Chiranjeevi Yojana, Bal Sakha Yojana, Khil Khila Drop Back Yojana. And the schemes of the central government are Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, National Leprosy Eradication Program, Prime Minister's Safe Motherhood Campaign, Environment Protection Programs, National Family Plan, Atal Sneh Yojana, Toilet and Cleanliness Campaign, Ayushman Bharat Yojana, which was implemented in 2018. Students, we heard about one Yojana in state government, which is the last point, Khil Khila Drawback Yojana. There is some detail given on page number 103 about that particular Yojana. The birth of a child is a happy occasion in every family. The return of a healthy mother and a healthy baby is an occasion of joy for every family. So now a new arrangement has been made in the government institution to make the mother and the newborn baby home from the government institution after delivery by Kilkilat vehicle. The Kilkilat vehicle is available with the certain government hospitals. Health workers provide these available services to lactating mothers after discharge from the hospital. The mother is given health education as well as counseling for maternal and child health. Even inside the vehicle, messages of safe child upbringing and vaccination are given to mother and her accompanying family members through videos. So this is the Kilkilat Yojana, Kilkilat Drawback Yojana provided by the state government. Know this, celebration of various health days. We already know that there are particular days on which the particular health related days are celebrated. That is on 30th January everybody celebrates World Leprosy Day. 4th February is World Cancer Day. 8th March is International Women's Day. 24th March is World Tuberculosis Prevention Day. 7th April World Health Day. 25th April World Malaria Day. 31st May World Anti-Tobacco Day. 5th June is World Environment Day. 14th June is World Blood Donation Day. 21st June is International Yoga Day. 11th July is World Population Day. 1st December is World AIDS Day. 3rd December is World Disability Day. 10th December is World Human Rights Day. Then another Yojana which was in the list of schemes of state government, the first Yojana, Mukhyamantri Amrutam Yojana. Family members living below the poverty line in rural as well as urban areas of all districts of Gujarat and members of a family with an annual income of rupees 4 lakhs or less, minimum 5 persons are included in this. There is a prescribed treatment package for heart, brain, kidney, cancers, burns, neonatal diseases and serious injuries. The beneficiary receives medical treatment at the contracted hospital. Know this. Students, this is one more Yojana of the central government, that is Ayushman Bharat Yojana, which was implemented in 2018. Ayushman Bharat program, central government. Ayushman Bharat Yojana or Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is a health scheme of the government of India implemented on 1st April 2018 in the whole of India. The main objective of this scheme is to provide health insurance to economically weaker people, especially BPL holder, the people who are living below poverty line. This is the full form of BPL. Under this scheme, up to 5 lakhs cashless health insurance will be made available to every family. 10 crore BPL families, about 50 crore people will be benefited by this scheme. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare implements this scheme. There are two important things in Ayushman Bharat Yojana. First is Rashtriya Swasthya Suraksha Yojana and second is Kalyan Kendra. Know this. Now there's a list of hospitals, main hospitals given here. Ahmedabad Civil Hospital is the largest hospital in Asia. This hospital was established in 1841. The hospital has excellent facilities for the treatment of heart, kidney, cancer and other serious diseases. So students, this was the chapter number 16, State Government. Students, on page number 105, there are few questions given here. The first question is, the village sarpanch wants to make a law for the development of village. How will he make it? So according to the law of Panchayati Raj, every village has a Gram Sabha to carry out development works. If the Sarpanch wants to make a law for the development of the village, he should convene a Gram Sabha under his leadership. All the adult voters of the village are the members of the Gram Sabha. They can vote by being present in the Gram Sabha. The Sarpanch will discuss with the Gram Sabha members about the need to make a law for the development of the village. It will then propose legislation. If the present Gram Sabha members pass the proposal by a 2/3 majority, the proposal will get the form of law. Vijay Bhai is 24 years old. He has registered his candidature for the assembly elections. Will his candidature be valid or not? Why? Students, the candidature for Vijay Bhai will not be valid because he is 24 years old, and according to the provisions of the constitution, a candidate must be 25 years of age or older to become a member of the legislative assembly. Explain the difference between a bill and a law. Students, the bill becomes law only if the president at the central and the governor at the state signs the bill and approve it. If they don't sign, it remains bill only, it cannot become law. What happens if Meenakshi, who is registered as a voter in Gujarat's Kutch district, registers her candidature in the Delhi Assembly elections? Students, Meenakshi is a Gujarat state voter. According to the constitutional provision, a voter can register his candidature in the Legislative Assembly elections of his state. Therefore, Meenakshi will not be able to register her candidature for the Legislative Assembly. Her candidature will not be considered valid. So this is the end of chapter 16, State Government. Students, if you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe the channel Asma Babwani. Click on the bell icon to get the latest updates. Like the videos, share the videos, and do comment on all the videos.